Hey guys, it's Emmanuel, your body code practitioner. Glad you're here. We're going to continue doing the emotion code book here. We are on page 20 to 25, and so if you want to follow along, let's do that. And I'm going to add my little insights here. So, as you guys have done before, I do something where I say, on a side note, or Emmanuel's side note, anything to do with that. It's not from the book. It's not Dr. Brad speaking. It's just me trying to share some insight that might be able to help you out in your journey, either as a practitioner or perhaps you're a client who just wants to know more about this. And again, I want to just kind of preface here, I'm not endorsed by Discover Healing. I just want to give you my input as a practitioner for 4.5 years and see if I can help you guys out. And so, and on Saturdays, if you guys remember, I do a live where I do some answers, like just question and answers. I'll try with my full ability to see if I can help you guys out in any way. And so let's get started here. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. I'm not going to use my headset. Last time I remember that I used to just kind of speak to my phone and it was actually pretty clear. So give me a thumbs up if I'm pretty clear right now. If not, I do have some headphones somewhere here that I can put on, but I think it sounds pretty clear right now. So, all right, let's get started here. So we're on page 20, and let's see what we got here. So it says trapped emotions and disease. So the most ancient idea, okay, cool, I got a thumbs up. The most ancient idea in the art of healing is that disease is caused by imbalances in the body. Trapped emotions are the most common type of imbalance human beings suffer from. I believe that trapped emotions can be implicated in nearly all diseases, either directly or indirectly. Trapped emotions seem to be universal because they create distortion in the body's energy field. Because they are completely invisible, they can cause an incredibly wide variety of physical problems without being discovered. Here are a few examples that have been reported by emotion code user Lori W. Hopefully, you're following along here. You can read with me, and we can do that. So, Claudia was scheduled for an eye operation. After emotion code work, her doctor called off the operation as she had healed on her own. Catherine had tremendous anxiety in cars after a traffic accident she was in, which her sister had died. The emotion code made a huge difference. She was finally able to travel by car. Baby Sam consistently woke up several times during each night. We discovered and released some trapped emotions from his traumatic birth using the emotion code. He had been delivered by the use of forceps. His night and his parents' nights have been much better since releasing the human trauma energy, since he now sleeps through the night. Camille suddenly felt completely hopeless about her career and depressed in general. A month later, she had lost her pet in a traumatic accident. After using the emotion code to release all the trapped emotions around this loss, she felt that a dark cloud had lifted that very evening. And so these are obviously really great stories and examples of people, basically using the emotion code. What's interesting about the car accident thing is, with the emotion code, I remember working with a client once. This is a side note. Working with a client once, and I remember that as a police officer, she was really scared about freeways. I guess there's some trauma that she had in regards to freeways, and we were able to release this enough energies from her. I used the emotion code and the body code, where her husband finally, which he actually has the same name as I do, or he has the same name that I do, but he was like, he says, I needed to look into this because I haven't seen her go on the freeway for over 15 years. And so it was really interesting that now she was able to go and finally drive there. She had a big, big phobia with freeways. Anyway, trapped emotions are, back to the book, trapped emotions are truly epidemic, and they are the insidious, invisible cause of much suffering and illness. Hold on, guys. I just need to. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me just keep going here. They said trapped emotions lower immune function and make the body more vulnerable to disease. They can distort body tissues, block the flow of energy, and prevent the normal function of organs and glands. Below is a list of conditions and diseases that my patients have come to me where trapped emotions appeared as a contributing factor and many times as the entire cause. And so it has a huge list here. You guys can see this list here. And I mean, there's some pretty amazing ones here. Like the one that kind of caught my attention was like Parkinson's disease. That's a pretty big one. That's a pretty big one. There's Crohn's disease too. I think a lot of people are dealing with, in general, chronic fatigue. But I guess Dr. Brad always used to make kind of fun of the word that, well, not fun of it, but he would say that one of the things that we tend to do is it's this like kind of like merry-go-round where it's the merry-go-round of symptoms. I don't know if some of you guys have heard him talk about this. This is a side note, by the way, where he talks about how, at first it's like you have depression. So then you have depression, and then the lady makes the phone call, hey, I got to go find out. I got to go with the doctor and find out what's going on with me. I feel really down and depressed, And then someone says, okay, well, go to the doctor. And the doctor says, you know what? We just found out you have chronic depression, And says, okay, so we have a thing that you can take here that will help you with that. Then all of a sudden, she starts, affecting her liver. And then all of a sudden she starts feeling a lot of fatigue, or maybe her adrenals are now shot from all this like taking pills. So now she's like, man, I'm so tired all the time. I don't know what's going on here. So then she goes over to the doctor again. She says, you have chronic fatigue syndrome. And now, there's a pill for that, you see? And so this little merry-go-round of like, big pharma doesn't really care about how we're really doing. They just care about the money, and the reality is and I don't really blame doctors, because I do. Obviously the doctors are transferring those things to us. But I remember, for example, my father, hey guys, hey Heidi, hey Sportiva, hey Spatura, hey guys. So what's interesting is that, my father, for example, who's an oncologist in Linwood area in California, he meets every single Wednesday. One of the best times I love to meet with my dad was on Wednesday, because on Wednesday he was meeting with a big pharma person. Now, I didn't know what was really happening. He just said, oh, these people come in and give you food. And I was like, people give you food? I'm like, what a great job. He's like, yeah, so Wednesdays I don't buy lunch. Like, they just come and feed me. And they always bring really good food. Sometimes Olive Garden, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, these big pharma reps are really, really sneaky, So they bring the food to make the doctor happy. So the doctor's willing. So if they bring the food, they're willing to get the pitch of like, have you seen these new medications that have come out? Are your patients dealing with these issues here? Here's a new big pharma pill. Here's another pill. Here's another pill. Here's another pill. And he's just kind of like, he gets to decide, do I buy a couple boxes of these, or, whatever. And obviously that person who sold it to them is going to make a commission. And and so that's big pharma at work for you. But what I love about Dr. Brad is that we're tired of the Band-Aids. We're looking for long-term solutions. So you have to look at the imbalances that you're dealing with. And that's what the emotion code and body code find. I tell my clients, become professional symptom seekers. Become professional symptom seekers. So then that way we can go find out what the imbalances are. Don't assume what it is. I'll give you one more quick story of assumption. For example, I know a lady who had a stroke recently, and she unfortunately lost her vision for her left eye. And what happened was that she asked the doctor, what's going on with my right eye? I don't know if it was her right eye or left eye, but it started having a lot of pain. I think it was the right eye, because it's compensating for the fact that there's no left eye. So the right eye, is there like maybe working extra hard, but also she said that it might be the nerves that are damaged behind the right eye or things like that. And she said the pain behind her eye was like a 9. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of pain. And I went in the body code. Guess what I found? It didn't say anything about nerves. It said her pineal gland was imbalanced. In fact, I think there was what they call a spiritual to physical disconnection. For those of you who are not familiar with that is, that's actually a common thing that I find in people that are dealing with some serious body issues, is this concept called the spiritual to physical disconnection, where Dr. Brad found out that every part of our body, like organs and glands, there's a spirit portion and there's the physical on top of it. So let's say that there's the spirit of the stomach and then there's the physical of the stomach on top. The spiritual lung, the physical lung. Spiritual heart, physical heart. I've even worked with clients that have had their spiritual heart broken, which is called it's a type of disconnection. And usually it's due to trauma. It's almost what they call a tear in the spirit. And you can even ask, how many pieces is your heart in? Like it'd be like 2, 3, 5. And then what's the percentage of it, that it's connected? And that's what I did with this lady. I said, your pineal gland there's a spiritual to physical disconnection. That's what I muscle tested. And as I was working on it, I was removing this trauma. There was some toxicities in there, like aluminum, and there was some things like that. But there was also emotional baggage. And as I kept removing things, it would go from 30%, 47, 56, 96. And I'm just muscle testing the percentage of how much more the spirit is connected to the physical. Now watch this. I moved the spiritual pineal gland into the physical 100%. All of a sudden I said, hey, take a deep breath, walk around, see how you're feeling. Guess what? Eye pain went down from a 9 to a 2. That's a big jump. So it was, and guess what? If you look up pineal gland imbalances, guess what it says? Vision problems, difficulty planning ahead, and eye pain. And guess what she had? Eye pain. You see, so you want to be, as a practitioner or as a client, we just want to be professional symptom seekers and just say, these are the symptoms I'm dealing with. Let's just ask the higher self what we need to work on here. So, sorry guys, there's a friend here. Okay, so let's get started here. Let's get back to our work. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a cool testimonial about how you just never know what it's going to be. Again, you want to write this down here, is that anything can cause anything. And that's what Dr. Brad kind of lives by. It's that we don't know. That's why when people come to me and assume things, I don't usually say, yeah, that's probably it. Or that's probably it. I usually say, if you've heard me and you're your client before, you've heard me say, yeah, that could be it. I'm like, I don't know. Could be. And so, because I don't know. And I don't want to assume, because then if I assume, then what happens as a body code practitioner is you start moving your answers. You start on purpose, you're kind of forcing the answers. I don't do that. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here. Let's just, I try to keep a complete blank canvas of what it could be. And obviously I didn't know that this person with the eye pain was a pineal gland imbalance. I didn't know. I was maybe looking for nerves, so, but yeah, so just, that's something that kind of little tip there. Okay, so here we go, page 22. I'm not saying that releasing trapped emotions is a cure-all. The emotion code should not be used by itself in attempting to address any major disease or medical condition, but rather it should be looked upon as an adjunct therapy. When trapped emotions are contributing to physical illness, removing them can only help. I have, side note, very powerful advice here. I do not negate Western medicine. Just like Dr. Brad, if you're seeing a doctor, go see your doctor. If you're seeing this, you do this. It's just kind of picture it like you're aiding their healing, and you want to just kind of just help them out in some sort of way. And so I never say, no, don't go to the doctor. There's no need for that. I never say that. You'll never hear me say that. I'm always like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it right now. Let's just add on this type of healing and let's see if you improve faster. So back to the book. The emotion code is easy to use and it is precise. Sometimes the release of a trapped emotion will bring about an instantaneous and dramatic effect, but most of the time the effects are more subtle. Either way, the release often seems to bring a greater sense of contentment and peace. There's a story here. It says, a life changed. I wanted to share my experience after receiving several emotion code sessions. Gone are my fear of heights and my need to exercise to calm my mind. I feel significantly more connected to self and others, with an increased sense of belonging, feeling more confident and secure. I have increased peace of mind, an increased sense of joy and happiness, an increased ability to deal with my family issues and put things into perspective. My sleep and digestion have improved. I feel an increased ability to communicate with others, along with an increased appreciation for my mom and dad. I feel an overwhelming increase in openness of my heart and sense of freedom. All my negative self-talk, my need for therapy, my tendencies to take things personally, my constant anxiety and worry, and my hip pain are all gone. I feel as though the past traumas in my life have disappeared. I feel much lighter. I'm so grateful. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Glad you guys are here. If you're anything like thousands of people who have discovered the power of this healing modality, you'll also find that the emotion code can bring a new joy and freedom to your life. It will give you a greater feeling of serenity because you'll be freeing yourself from old emotional baggage. The results can bring balance, a new calm, a profound healing, and if nothing else, has helped before. So here's what I want to add here, just kind of a side note here. We're not done yet, but there's a really great quote that I used to really love a lot, which was done by Jim Rohn. If you guys are writing notes here, Jim Rohn says, "If you want the higher things in the shelf, you need to stand on the books you read." And what I in my personal experience, that's kind of a half truth, because how many of you guys, go ahead and put a one down there, have read a ton of self-development books, a ton of Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, You Were Born Rich, Wallace D. Wattles, Secrets, the Science of Getting Rich, Law of Success, Napoleon Hill, 1925 edition. How many of you guys have read all those books? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Millionaire Mind, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Just read all these books, but you're just like, man, money is not coming. Or I've read the 5 languages, but I don't have anybody to speak the language to. So that's a problem, right? And so that's what I love about this work, is that the books aren't enough. Now but man, I'm telling you this, if you can combine your self-development with your energy healing and combine that together, I really think you could be a very powerful force. Am I going to have somebody work on my public speaking? Yeah, that'd be great. But then I also want to read how to be an effective public speaker by who? By Dale Carnegie. I want to be very good at selling people, or providing some type of value in sales. I'm probably going to read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, but I also want to say, I am a very, when I speak, people really listen to what I say. Let's muscle test that. Well, you're at 39%. Move that to 100% and see what happens. You see, so the combination of energy healing and also reading is great. So don't keep stacking your library. If you want to go to a place where poverty is very rampant, this is all side note, by the way. If you want to go to a rampant place of poverty, what you'll notice is they have a very, very large TV in their home. Usually it's close to their door, in the entrance of their house. Now, if you want to find a very wealthy person, the thing that they want to interest you about, hey, look at my big TV. They're usually like, let me show you my library. Let me show you the books that I've read. And they get excited to kind of be like, yeah, I read this book. I read. So see the difference there is that someone, like Jim Rohn says, how much does a television cost? They might say, that's $2,000. That's $3,000. No, that's not how much a television costs. A television costs many hours wasted of you doing things you could have done, but instead you were wasting away building someone else's dream while watching TV. And so it costs way more. Kind of like a journal. His journal costs $20, but he says that when he puts information about his life in there, his journal is priceless. It's worth millions of dollars, his journal. So he changed the value by the content that he put in there. Again, when you are adding to yourself and investing in energy healing, you're becoming more valuable. You add more value to the marketplace. You become irreplaceable. So if you want to change your situation, think about in your mind, how can I add value to something in your life? And then in order to add value, what do you have to do? Sharpen your axe. And so Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 9 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe and 3 hours cutting down the tree. I'll say it again. If I had 9 hours to cut a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. Sharpening my axe. Doing energy work, sharpening my axe. Spend 6 hours doing that, then 3 hours serving people. You see what he's saying? So most of us, the reason why life isn't working for us is because we're hitting trees with a dull axe. And the tree has this huge tattoo on it that says relationships. And you're just like, I can't make this work. While someone else next to you has done yoga or does Reiki healing, energy healing, goes to spiritual retreats, does all this stuff, and then takes a chainsaw and just runs that tree over. See, you don't know what he's doing. You don't know what she's doing. They're doing work while you're asleep or you're watching TV. They're spending time investing in themselves, seeing what can I do to improve myself, and everything just starts working for them left and right. I don't know why I went off on a tangent there. Hopefully you appreciated my tangent that I just did. Someone out there appreciated it. Go ahead and put a smiley face if you appreciate that. Sometimes I just have these outbursts of someone needs to hear this, And anyway, let's end here. This is the last page here of 25. Okay, so it says here, the secret world of trapped emotions. Back we go. The doctor of the future. Oh, this is such a great quote. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. So I bet all wellness coaches should remember that quote. It's a great quote. I'll say it again. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. But now you're probably wondering whether you have any trapped emotions yourself and what they might be. Everyone has trapped emotions because everyone has had difficult experiences in life. Even a temporary struggle or a particularly bad day can produce a trapped emotion. Below is a list of circumstances that will likely result in trapped emotions: divorce or relationship problems, feelings of inferiority, financial hardship, home or work stress, internalization of feelings, long term stress, loss of a loved one, miscarriage or abortion, negative feelings about yourself or others, negative self talk, negative neglect or abandonment, physical illness of yourself or loved one, physical or emotional combat, physical trauma, physical, mental, verbal, or sexual abuse, and rejection. These are all examples. This list by no means is all inclusive. The only way to know whether you have a trapped emotion is to ask the subconscious mind. This can be done quite easily, but first, a little explanation is in order. So we'll end right there on page 25. Hopefully you guys appreciated this reading here. Feel free to jot down any comments you have or any insights. This isn't, I want this to be like a book club. I want you guys to add your insights in here. What did you get from these 5 pages? Go ahead and comment below. What did you get from this? And then when I have time, like on the weekend, if I'm hanging out, I might go in there and just write some comments on there. So if you say something down there, I might say hello to you guys, or I might answer something if I can help you out. And again, on Saturdays, I'm going to do a question and answer for 30 minutes or an hour. I don't know, depending on how I feel. And then what I'll do is I'll see if I can help anybody out here. I know if you haven't seen it, I did one just the last video, and a lot of people appreciated that. I know one person got offended because that's just going to happen, but no meaning to offend you. It was just, I think they said, hey, Manuel, that's kind of biased that you tell people to go to highly reviewed practitioners. What about me? I just started. What about me? And I want to tell people this, that just so you know what I said to that person is that if you are getting certified, then you should have worked with 26 people and 4 dog owners or 4 cat owners or whatever you worked on. So you could have up to 30 testimonials there. Even if half of them liked you, that's 15 testimonials waiting for you. What I was talking about specifically are people that have no testimonials, no website, no nothing. And they're going like, let me clear your heart wall in 5 seconds. See, that worries me, you see, because by the way, I'll do it for $20 in a Subway sandwich. It's like, that person worries me because they're first of all, they're underpricing the greatest discovery in energy healing. To put it for $20 in a Subway sandwich, you're letting people know that this isn't valued that much. And really, Dr. Brad didn't have this vision, just for nothing. He had it so that we can all clear our walls, and that imagine a world where we have no heart walls. Imagine where everyone was living out of their mission. Imagine that world. So that's valued a lot. How much did it cost me? Some people will ask, how much does this cost? And I'll just end with this note here. How much will it cost you to not do the emotion code? That's a good question. Go ahead and put your answer below. Tell me what you think. But think about this, like if someone's dealing with depression, do they know how much this is going to cost them with their job, with their husband, with their kids, with going on vacation and then not really appreciating what they're seeing? How much does it really, really cost to have depression? How much does it really, really cost to have constant anxiety? And if you're taking pills, my question is, what is that costing your liver or your adrenals or your kidneys to have toxins in your body? What does that cost you? And at some point, it'll probably reach your brain. How much is your brain worth? You see, so people, I love this quote that Oscar Wilde said. He says that people know the value of the price of everything, but the value of nothing. I'll say it again. People know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. And it's up to us as practitioners to let people know that this is very valuable work. And you are a very valuable person. Your body, your temple is very valuable. So let's not put a price on it. You have to let people know. Also, when I'm asking people to look into an investment to do this type of work for them, I always say, this, that you know, what's like, you don't want them to have some type of excuse. If they're having an excuse, then you haven't put enough value what you're actually providing. So with that, hopefully you guys appreciated this video. Again, we will jump back to page. We will be starting at 25, and then we're gonna go to 30. So see you guys next time. I'll leave my, and I also want to make a small announcement. I have an Instagram account. It's Emmanuel Zavaios. Okay, there's about maybe close to 3,000 followers, maybe 2,800. I'm completely booked out probably about 2 or 3 weeks from now. So I'm going to be sometimes going on Instagram and doing a free live healing for people. So if you're like, man, I can't wait 3 weeks, blah, 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 there's a high chance that if you go on my Instagram and I do a live, that I'll be like, I'm just going to pick someone and I'll pick you and I'll do a healing session on you. So so follow me on Instagram. It's just Emmanuel Zavaios, not Emmanuel F. Zavaios, not Coding Alternative. It's just me. It's just Emmanuel Zavaios. So look for me there. There should be a picture of me like in a gray photo. Follow me there if you want to get updated with free live healings, and then it'll be outside of work, and maybe I can fit you in there and do a free healing for you. So with that, I love you guys. I wish you guys the best, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.